from near London in the UK, and when I first learned about theta healing, it was about 3 years ago. In fact, it's probably even longer than that. It was about 3 years ago when I started learning it. But I'd heard about theta healing for months before I started training in it. And it was a group of girls who had been doing angel work, because before I came to theta healing, I had been doing work with angels, work with masters, work with the number of healing modalities I worked with before I came to theta healing is about as long as my arm. I've done every kind of therapy, every kind of healing. Before theta healing, I was doing meditation, Reiki, and had been for 10, 12 years. And then when theta healing came along, it was kind of a gradual shift for me from all these different therapies and all the different types of meditation I was working with, until the point I'm at now, where I'm really just living and working with theta healing. Initially for me it was a gradual process as I started really to understand and appreciate just how totally amazing theta healing is. When I first started to work with it, healings took place and they were good. But it was really once I really began to work with it and understand it, that really I had just been totally blown away with all the different things theta healing can do. So I have been, the last 2 years, although it's 3 years since I learned it, the last 2 years I've really been working with clients with it. And I've been teaching classes for the last year. I have seen the most amazing healings take place. People who've had physical conditions for 5, 10, even 35 years, after doing work, which sometimes can just be 10 minutes, sometimes it can be one session, sometimes it may be 2 or 3 sessions. But people can heal from things that they've carried for years. And I've just seen one miracle healing after another. I think the physical healings are really easy to actually see. Well, there was a condition there and it's disappeared. But a large part of the work I do is working with emotional issues. The things that keep people back from achieving all they can be or all that they want to be. And sometimes the differences there are more subtle. So whilst with theta healing there can be immediate and instant changes when we change beliefs people have about themselves or about the world, but also when we can create new feelings in them. And so for people who've never really learned what it is to love, or to have joy, or peace, or these things that really all of us want in our lives, when we can teach someone what it feels like to be able to have that instantly without any conditions attached to it, and then see their life change, it's absolutely fantastic. Sometimes when I work with clients, at the end of a session, if I'm working in a one-to-one basis with them, I have to give them a mirror at the end of the session, because actually they physically change. They look different, their eyes light up, their bodies just change and shift. So these are really, I suppose the things I mentioned just now are the immediate physical and emotional effects it can have on someone who has a session. One of the most amazing things is when people actually train to be theta healers. And this is something that is just so easy to do. When I first started doing this work, I thought that people had to have special talents to do it, that they had to have years of healing or meditation, but it's just absolutely not the case. And I've had many people on my courses who have been businessmen or who've done other things, just totally unconnected to healing or spiritual things, and they've come in the course, they've learned the techniques, and even at the end of the first day of the course, they've been able to work with them and create healings. So although it's really simple to learn it and you can do it in a few days, the theta healing training goes on for months, so that for those people who are really dedicated and who really want to make transformation in their lives can go on and study and develop themselves. So, the main thing that I really want to say about Theta Healing today is about, as well as it being a way to heal yourself or as something you can learn to work with others, it's really about how it's a journey for you. And working with Theta Healing, you connect to the energy of all that is. And this energy is the energy that runs through everything. It's what connects us to other people. It's what connects us to our essence, to everything inside us and out with us. We're connected to all of it, and it's all part of us. And Theta Healing, for me, has really given me the ability to connect to that energy of all that is. And then to work with that energy to create miracles, not just for other people, but for me and the things going on in my life. And to be able to connect to this energy, whatever you're doing, not just when you're working with Theta Healing, but when you go about your day-to-day life, to connect to the energy. It kind of overwhelms me. It's kind of what working with this energy does. It's when you're working in that space that's pure love, where everything just is, then it's just so totally amazing. So, when you work with Theta Healing and you recognise your limitations, then you can work with this energy to completely change and shift them. And for me, this is one of the great gifts of Theta Healing. It's really being able to uncover what's inside yourself and then shift all the layers. And for those of you who've been doing spiritual work for years, you'll know that it's a bit like peeling the onion. You take off one thing and you find something underneath. But Theta Healing really gives you the tools to be able to really do this so quickly and so easily without having to go through lots of pain and suffering and periods of depression. And so what this means is that you can really uncover who you really are and then let your light shine.